Moving into our second segment of the day, we have talks about the debt ceiling. There's 2 clips on this. We'll talk about the first one, and then the next reporter in the next segment wants more of a clarification on really what's going on here. As always, we'll give our commentary. Support the show by hitting that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
To lay out for you.
On a separate topic regarding the debt ceiling, Senator Joe Manchin says in his recent private meeting with Speaker McCarthy that McCarthy said he has, quote, no intention on touching Medicare or Social Security. What is the White House reaction to hearing that? And do you agree with what the senator is saying there?
I just want to pause it here really quick because I want your take on this. I really do. Medicare and Social Security, more so Social Security, and I really do mean this, folks. Leave me a comment down below on this. There are talks that Social Security is going to go insolvent. I wouldn't say necessarily insolvent, but there are talks that you're going to receive anywhere from, let's say, 70 to 80% of Social Security. So you put in 100%, right? But you're only going to get 70 or 80% back because we just don't have the money to sit there and actually support or fund this thing. My question is that would you be opposed to grandfathering in everybody that's already paid into Social Security, and whoever hasn't, meaning those that are maybe 18 years or I guess 17 year older or less, or haven't paid into Social Security, they don't get that Social Security when they retire. Basically, we're cutting it off at a threshold because we can't keep paying into this thing. It's getting a little bit silly, a little bit ridiculous. Allow people to choose their own investment and retirement options rather than having the government handle it. I want to know what you think of all that. So you'll still get your Social Security, but basically the next generations that are up and coming aren't going to have that option of Social Security. I understand we have to ask questions, well, how are we going to pay for that? Would we have to up our Social Security then as a whole to pay for those that are currently going to retire or already in retirement? I think we can have a conversation about it. But what is your solution to all of this? Because we can't keep kicking this one down the road here. We'll have to keep increasing Social Security, what's taken out of our paycheck, and it's getting a little bit silly at the end of the day. I want to know your guys' solutions, and if you're opposed to grandfathering in people and then ultimately cutting off or having a threshold of those that can opt in or are eligible to opt in, meaning later generations here, those that are born now all the way to 17 years old. Let me know what you think.
Look, for months and months and months now, and many of you have reported this, they have been saying that they're planning to cut Social Security and Medicare. This is what Republicans have been saying for months. And you know, I have a few reporting from some of your colleagues, from your esteemed colleagues. Just the other day, the Washington Post headline is quote, House GOP eyes Social Security, Medicare, and spending battle, end quote. Or Reuters earlier in January, Republican House conservatives threatened debt limit default to cut social programs. That has been consistent with what House
Social programs include more than just Social Security and just healthcare in general. So a little bit disingenuous of what she's talking about here. And I'm just telling everybody, because a lot of times people go, oh, military is our number one expenditure. No, it's not. It's literally social programs make up the vast majority of our budget. You could literally just go on the government's website and look that up yourself. That is not like any news. But I always do this poll with students every year when I'm teaching finance, specifically a taxes unit, which is actually coming up here this week. I'll be teaching that unit. I asked them, I said, what's the number one budget expenditure that the United States government uses? By far, like not even close, every year for the 4 years I've been teaching this, majority of students pick military because we push this idea that that's what all our money goes to. We never talk about the social programs. They need to be cut. It's ridiculous on how much we are spending. It is ridiculous. Social programs must be cut. We can't have empathy in politics all the time because empathy in politics is harmful. You make bad decisions that aren't necessarily good for everybody, but they're good for a certain subset of the population, which leads to bad policy a lot of the times. It doesn't mean we can't have empathy. It doesn't mean we can't do some sort of charity to help those people and uplift them in some way, shape, or form, but constantly having the government step in as baby daddy and do all the work for them isn't the way government was created in the first place from the founding, even to modern day. But you have these elected politicians in the Democrat Party and some in the Republican Party, by the way, that have been pushing this idea that government needs to sit there and support its citizens, when again, that wasn't the main function of government. Doesn't mean there doesn't need to be a safety net. There does, but not in any way, shape, or form of what we're doing now. It's getting, again, a little bit ridiculous.
Republicans have been saying they want to, hold hostage the debt, so that they want to default on it so that they can cut Social Security, so that they can cut Medicare. And let's not forget, these are programs that the American people have paid into. We're talking about veterans and senior citizens here. And here's another one. For example, here's a Fox News headline from less than a month ago. Before Election Day, Republicans are using debt limit hike to overhaul entitlement programs if entrusted with majority. And this is what we have seen for months and months and months. This is what they have been saying for months and months and months.
But doesn't it seem like McCarthy's signaling he's not going to be touching those?
I understand the question, but I'm telling you what his Republican conference has been saying for some time now. And they continue to say that. I just read an article from earlier this week that said that is what they want to do. And here's the thing. As you talk about, the debt ceiling, as we talk about this conversation that we've been having for weeks about their responsibility and what they should be doing, Congress, both Republicans and Democrats, in a bipartisan way to deal with this issue that's been dealt with 78 times since 1960, we haven't seen a plan from Republicans. What's their plan? We know that what they want to cut, but what's their plan? And so, it's been very clear to us what they want to do, and it's been very clear all through this week as well. Yeah.
That is so rich that she's going to be like, well, what's their plan? What's their plan? Folks, we've been asking the Biden administration's plan on immigration literally since day one of them removing Trump's policies, and we've been waiting for it. Literally been waiting for it for 2 years now. It has not come. We don't have a plan whatsoever on illegal immigration. He's still breaking records. So it's just rich that when it works for her narrative, she'll push it. And I do want to say we'll give her some credit there. She's actually prepared reading different various articles. That was a good response from her. I got to give her that, right? We always hound her. We always hound Biden. That was a press secretary right there, you guys. Actually looking up. Granted, she was getting out of notebook. That's fine. But she had rebuttals to, hey, this is what people are saying. These are what conservative outlets are saying. This is what GOP is saying. Great job. And by the way, I'm okay with the GOP cutting social programs. 100% okay. That's called making a budget. You have to cut. You guys, we do this in our individual lives all the time. We cut our budget. We trim down the fat, right? We can't all have luxury items. We have to trim down. We're not always going to have the best healthcare in the world because of where we're at in our social aspect in terms of how much we make. Maybe we can't afford it. That's life. I do that. You do that. Everybody has to cut some areas. And so when the government does it, we all get upset because we expect a handout from the government. But again, that's the problem with government within itself and the problem with our American culture right now that needs to change.
I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.